Hey everyone, so wanted to do a video on why the backing value of Pmaxi is likely to exponentially increase over the coming years and kind of how that works when you stake HEX. So I recreated this visual that Golki made when Maxi first launched, which was kind of illustrating the fact that, hey, you have this green line, which is the backing value, which represents the underlying stake value over the next 15 years. And you also have this kind of oscillating value on either side of the backing, which is the market price, so the price of the token. And I've already gone into why that happens, why you have the market price oscillate around that backing price, but essentially it's there's two prices, and you have the stake backing, and then you have people actually buying and selling the token on the open market on DEXs, and that causes these fluctuations in price and arbitrage opportunities, which become tighter and tighter as you get closer to redemption, when you can actually redeem for the exact backing value. So yeah, I've made these charts just to give people a sense of what could happen, what's happened so far. Look at Maxi, it's gone to a premium, it's gone to a discount. Now, this oscillating market price projected, that's just me drawing lines on a chart. It could be way different than that. It may never go to a premium again, right? It may just track underneath the green line where my cursor is, all the way into the end. That could totally happen. But I've drawn this on there just to give people a sense of, what may happen reasonably based on the maximum kind of delta that we've seen so far. And I've done that for each token as well. So Deci, you can see it looks quite pretty there. Lucky and Trio base. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on these charts. So let's go into, if I remove the projected market value for a second here, because that is really me just drawing lines on a chart, and get back to the actual numbers of what we think will happen. So this is what has happened so far, right? The backing value and the market value, that has happened. And we know how much the stake is worth. We know what the backing is. And then we also know what the market value is today, because we know what the price of the token is, and we can work backwards by doing the ratio of the price of the token versus the price of HEX to figure out how much HEX it's currently worth. And so you can kind of see right now Maxi is 1.2, so it's underneath the backing of 1.9 or so. But we want to kind of visualize or imagine, this is like looking at the discount chart, right? Which is very zoomed in, so to speak. But with the projections, we want to kind of zoom out and really think about the next 13 or so years for Maxi, or 8 or so years for Deci, and also get a sense of how much time is left, right? So I really like the kind of the green, the light green on the dark green, because it's kind of like a loading bar. But yeah, getting back to the projections. So there's two projections. I've defaulted on the exponential one because I think that's more likely. But the worst case scenario is that the payout per T-share stays exactly the same as it is today going forward, which won't happen, but we don't know what the payouts will be in the future. But they do, the T-share rate ratchets up, which tends to push up that payout over time. That's what we've been seeing so far. But worst case scenario is we don't see any increase in the payout per T-share per day going forward. It stays at whatever it is now, 7. Is it 7? 6.7? 7? And it stays like that. It's a linear line, and your stake backing value increases linearly based on that payout. Because your T-shares don't increase, the payout per T-share doesn't increase, so you're just marching up in a straight line, right? Now, why is this exponential line important, and why do I think it's going to go up exponentially? Well, this is actually an exponential regression, which means that it's looking at the curve so far, because this looks like a straight line, but if you look at like some of the other tokens like Trio, okay, maybe that's not as clear, but maybe Lucky is quite nice. You can see it a bit better, but this is not actually a straight line. It's curving up slightly, and it's curving up slightly because the payouts are increasing. So you have you have two forces essentially causing this exponential increase in the backing value. You have the payouts naturally increasing because the payouts are calculated based on the total supply of HEX. And then you also have the total T-shares decreasing. So it's kind of like a pushing in both directions, right? The payouts are naturally increasing because the supply is increasing, and also the total T-shares are decreasing. So if you have a fixed number of T-shares, your share of the payouts is going to be increasing every day. So that's why you have this exponential growth effect for staked HEX, these two factors. And how do we measure kind of like what the likely kind of steepness of this exponential line is? So I've just done the regression and I plotted it like this. There's other ways of modeling it, but right now what I've done is I've just plotted it based on what we've done so far. But this could actually ramp up much faster if we get a lot of early end staking. So around the 5-year mark, we might get a lot because all of the 10-year stake guys, they can exit with all of their principal. Around the 7.5-year mark, we're probably going to get a lot of early end staking. So that could really shift this up, and we might see like a much more aggressive exponential increase. But who knows really? Like it, from where I'm standing, it could end anywhere from 5 to 10 to 25 to 50 HEX per maxi by the end of it. It's hard to tell. It's really far out right now. But for some of the other tokens where it's less far out, you can kind of see the linear expected endpoint and the exponential expected endpoint. They're very close, right? And the more interesting thing is looking at the market value for the token right now. If it's at a discount and there's very little time left, you actually have quite a high effective APY. So any deviation from this line has a big effect if the stake is coming close to due. I really like these charts because I can see I know base has restarted now, its third cycle. I need to update the data there, but you can very quickly see the difference in each of these tokens in terms of how long they are, which is nice, versus one another. And they're all on the same scale. You can make them all on the same scale as Maxi as well. So if we zoom out here with this button, you can actually get a sense of how long each of them are versus Maxi and when they started as well. So that's quite nice to see. So yeah, I hope that explains a bit better why the exponential increase in the stake backing value is a possible outcome.